Welcome to the NAPA Auto Cares Podcast, the official podcast of the NAPA Business Development Group. Here is your host, Ada Grace.
Hello, NAPA Auto Cares. Welcome to NAPA Auto Care Podcast. I have Chad Wilson with me today. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Tell me what we're going to learn about today from headquarters.
Today we're going to talk about some of the classes offered and the way that, you can't find technicians, let's make technicians. We've got them in here. These classes are paid for. You have to do a deposit, and then you'll get it refunded back to you upon completion. Yeah. There's no reason that shops should not be taking advantage of this. There's 2 locations for every class, an east and a west Atlanta. It makes 0 sense to me why no one is taking advantage of these.
That's so odd to me. They have so much knowledge and things that they could be learning
exactly
right there, and it's free. It's completely free.
Yeah, and it's not the typical classes that have been offered from NAPA in the past. In the past, it was always you had these PowerPoint things. I hate saying death by PowerPoint because I feel like it's just, but that's what it was. It was horrible. You'd have some burnout guy that couldn't hang it in a technician position anymore, teaching a class, complaining about his wife and dinner, and just leading a bad life and starting that example for technicians out there. And it was just a bad route. And now we actually have hands-on classes. One, I believe, starts this week. I'm not even going to get into that one. It's I don't even remember what it was, but I'm going to get into the next 3 talking about their dates and when they're going to be happening. So I guess we'll just get started. So you've got a brakes class coming up. One is at NAPA headquarters and one is at NAPA DC. The headquarters is April 23rd through the 25th, and at the DC is the 30th through the 2nd. The benefit to these classes are they actually have mock-up brakes on stands in class, completely functional, for technicians to take apart, put back together, measure runout, measure thicknesses, see problems. Some of these have built-in problems for them to figure out. I mean, it really is something that if people would just take advantage of it, you're not going to want to send your A-level techs to these. These are to take your guys that are in there under your A-level techs, wanting to be more, to give them better understanding of how to diagnose problems, how to correctly do things. Mm-hmm. A brake job is not just a brake job. There's a lot more to it. There's points on how brake pads fit, how they're wearing. You want to look at indicators and taking apart, hot spots in rotors, hot spots in pads, what causes it, are pins hanging up, how to correctly disassemble, clean, relubricate, reassemble. People don't even know a lot of times that brakes require grease. Yeah. They're
kind of important.
Yeah.
In your car,
it's definitely something, and it's a money maker for shops. If you have a C-level tech that can produce 4 brake jobs a day, that's $2,000. Yeah. And when you're talking oil changes, a brake job typically is going to be 40% margin. Over an oil change, that's 4%. So get them to the next level and use these classes. The hands-on experience they can gain in these, being able to ask questions, take things apart, and this is where you want them to break things. Yeah. Break it there. Take advantage of it. These classes are normally about $750 to $1,000 per tech, and it's free. The other class coming up is HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. May 28th through May 30th, June 4th through June 6th. May is at the headquarters. June is at the DC. One of the biggest benefits to this, again, there are full standing, functioning HVAC systems out of the car so they can see all the parts. Mm-hmm. They can see how they work. They bug them. They can run low pressure systems, high pressure systems, and all HVAC systems for the most part work exactly the same.
Yeah.
There's no variations. You get into different kinds of compressors, it's a different thing, but the function of the system is essentially the same. You're about to hit the HVAC, you're about to hit the air conditioning system season. Everybody's stuff's not going to be working in a month.
Exactly.
Get in front of that.
Yeah.
Let your guys know that you want them to make money, you want to make money, and send them to this training course. It's free. Turn your guy into a technician that makes money for themselves and for you. Quit wasting your time with them out there fumbling around, messing things up, not understanding systems. You've got this expensive AC equipment. An average AC machine now is, about $6,000?
Yeah.
In my shop, we've got multiple systems, R134, R1234. You know, you're paying for this stuff. Make money off of it. And sending your technicians to school is going to make money.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but this could be forming the next generation of technicians.
Correct. And that's what we're trying to do. Make them. Quit whining about not having them.
When your A-level technicians one day retire or leave, you're going to have your other levels step up.
That's
So
right.
This is an important class to get them ready and prepared for when that day comes.
Yep. And all of this stuff, too, this is another good point. You reminded me of this and that. This gets them ready for the ASEs for these sections.
Exactly.
So the brakes, they're going to be prepared to take the ASEs. The HVAC, they're prepared to take the ASEs.
Yes.
So with that, you're just growing what you're looking for. Instead of whining about it not being there,
Yeah.
make it. The other one, now this is one I would say maybe not your A techs, but your B and C techs, the electrical class, August 27th through the 29th at the headquarters, the September 3rd through the 5th at NAPA, DC. Again, it's a $250 deposit. It's refunded upon completion. I can promise you, you've got guys in your shop that don't understand what Ohm's law is.
Yeah.
You've probably got guys in your shop that don't even understand how a battery works. I had a guy that was, 15 years older than me, had been a tech for 30 years, and thought when you plugged a battery charger in, it put electricity in the battery. And that's not how this works.
Yeah.
This class will give your guys the ability to use a multimeter, diagnose electrical systems. I don't think it quite gets in depth to scope levels. That's something we probably need to look at for the future. But it will give them the ability to diagnose electrical systems much better, fewer comebacks, saving you time and money. It's going to give them the understanding of how resistance works, Ohm's law, understanding charging systems, diodes. A lot of times now you're running into situations where you've got a resistance issue in a system, and so a computer's shutting it off. It's not that something's messed up necessarily. It's something's grounded somewhere. You want your guys to be able to diagnose that stuff. If you take the time to send them to 3 days of free quality training with hands-on the entire time, it is going to benefit you. Don't sit there whining about not being able to find technicians. Take the ones you have, make them better. They will appreciate it. They'll make more money. You'll make more money. That's as easy as it is. What do you think?
I think that the electrical, with how cars are changing, the electrical aspect of a car is extremely important. With Teslas, they run off of electricity instead of gas. I think it's important to keep technicians up to date on the new changing technology in cars, so that when these nicer cars come into the shop, you can be ready to handle it and not just mess up some really expensive car.
That's right. And a lot of times too, kind of going on what you're saying, guys will they'll plug in the car to the scanner, they'll pull a code, and they'll assume a part's failed. But if they actually understand what the code is saying, they may be able to diagnose deeper, faster into a car. You've got things like I know some of my guys use a scope before they do anything else, because if you know you've got really high resistance in a door wiring harness because your window won't go up and down, you have a bad motor.
Yeah.
They didn't just take the door apart. They didn't waste the time. You're charging the hour diagnostics, but you're only spending 15 minutes.
Time is money.
It is. And in this business, it is as crucial as you can get with that.
Yes.
So please take advantage of these classes. We'll give you the email address. If you have any more questions, you can send back, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yes, the email for the asking questions is napabdg@gmail.com. That's it. Come back next week for another episode. Thank you.